We speak of temple as a family, as a community, because everyone who's born is born into community. We live in community, we learn to love and laugh with others in community, and as Judaism teaches, the power of this temple community in shaping lives, deepening minds, healing bodies and souls, and impacting Jewish lives for a lifetime. It's a prime example of why the synagogue in general has been the foundation of Jewish life for 2,000 years. And let's be honest, throughout our history, the story of the Jewish people has always been the few leading the many, right? Moses and 600,000 people with a few helpers. Tonight continues the secret to our success. 30-plus temple trustees leading literally thousands of other people. I believe that the measure of any organization's success is not only what it has done, but what it is doing and what it will do in the future. Temple has as long and proud and storied a history as any synagogue in America. But our success in doing the greatest good for the greatest number of people, if you think about it, it's been due to a mindset of constantly looking forward. We must always remember the past. We must always live with the past. But we die when we live in the past. And this temple has never lived in the past. Had Rabbi Danziger applied Jewish life in the 50s and 60s to the needs he faced in the 70s and 80s, this temple would have tanked. Rabbi D looked ahead, as did his predecessors, as did all the temple presidents, officers, and trustees. I never felt like I've been a senior rabbi for 14 years here until I look at how worn out parts of this building already are since we renewed it with grade A carpet. I remember someone who's since died over these 14 years who came up to me and said, "Why is Temple getting high quality carpet in the Ellison Wax Hall when you can save with just as nice a looking, lesser quality carpet?" I told this woman, I'm no carpet expert, but our leaders on this who really know this, they're looking forward, and they have only the long-term interest of Temple in mind. And now that carpet, we had dinner, it's not worn out, but it's wearing. Long-term interest, looking forward. Enter Jonathan Frisch, the 49th president of Temple, whom we consecrate, install, and celebrate tonight. We have Lisa Schlesinger, Jonathan's wife, to thank for introducing him to Temple Israel. You see, Jonathan, if you didn't know, has been a blessing to the entire Memphis Jewish community. He grew up at our sister synagogue Anshe. He attended the yeshiva, and after marrying Lisa, got involved here. I actually found in the archives that when Jonathan and Lisa joined Temple before I was here in the summer of 1988, they lived on Swan Lake Drive, pre-Caroline and pre-Dina, of course. Jonathan and Lisa are among the very first friends Cheryl and I made in Memphis. For years, we celebrated our January birthdays together, and here's what I know. His parents of blessed memory, Bernie and Shirley, they raised this man to love Judaism and to love all things Jewish. And together with Lisa, Jonathan has raised two fabulous daughters. I say that having known Caroline and Dina since the day of their births in November of '92 and April of '96. Before Jonathan speaks, and all the trustees will recite a prayer and hand the Torah from heart to heart on this evening of consecrating our leadership, I just have one rabbinic comment on Jonathan. He is an ish chesed. Ish is a human being or man. Chesed is usually translated as kindness, but it also means love. Not love as emotion or passion, but love expressed as deed. Chesed is the love that is loyalty. Chesed, Rabbi Sachs writes, is the love that means being always available and present for another. Chesed is born in the generosity of faithfulness. It's the love where trust is rewarded precisely because it does not seek reward. Jonathan's adult life has been all about Jewish service, not for reward, but because of his abiding faith in and commitment to the Jewish people, Israel, and all people. Jonathan leading temple, like his leadership throughout the Jewish community, is the culmination of his chesed. Jonathan is an ish chesed, a loyal leader of the Jewish people, the leader we're blessed to have, all of us, as the next president of Temple Israel, Jonathan Frisch.
Thank you, Micah, for that beautiful, kind introduction. As I walked into the sanctuary tonight, I stopped in the lobby to look once again at the silver yad that rests inside one of the Temple Museum's display cases. That plain but meaningful yad is the oldest piece that remains from our congregation's earliest days. It is one of the very first gifts given to Temple when it was formed by 35 families who saw the need for a Reformed Jewish congregation in Memphis 161 years ago. On the side of that yad reads the inscription, presented to Congregation Children of Israel, Memphis, Tennessee, April 4th, 5623, by T. Foles. Theobald Foles was a founding member of our congregation when it was formed in 1853. Mr. Foles is buried in our cemetery, yet his gift to his new congregation lives on more than a century and a half later. As I looked at that yad, perhaps for some inspiration, I realized that all of us truly stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. So many Jewish visionaries who year after year built a great Reformed congregation. I am humbled and deeply grateful to be the 49th president of Temple Israel. I must admit, though, that I'm also a little bit terrified. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that this kid, who grew up in the Memphis Orthodox Jewish community, who attended the Memphis Hebrew Academy, would one day become president of Temple Israel, one of the largest and most respected Reformed congregations in America. So you might ask yourselves, how did Temple Israel become my spiritual home? The truth is, I married a third-generation child of this congregation and the love of my life, Lisa Gay.
Lisa Gay.
Rabbi Danziger married us, and it was Rabbi Danziger who first taught me the value and the beauty of the Reform movement, and that of Temple Israel in particular. 13 years ago, I joined Temple's board, and it didn't take long before I found myself squeezed by the demands of work and family and my passion as a volunteer for too many other organizations. So Lisa suggested I become more involved with Temple, and of course she was right, as she always is. Since making that decision, the sense of purpose that I've witnessed from fellow Temple trustees has been nothing short of inspirational. I've never served on a board where there's truly only one agenda, and that agenda is simply, how can we continue to keep Temple Israel in its rightful place among the best Reformed congregations in America? Temple Israel has a remarkable history of attracting and keeping the best of Reformed clergy. In fact, Rabbi Greenstein is only the 8th senior rabbi in our storied history. The dedication of Temple Israel staff is unparalleled, and throughout the years, the devotion of our lay leadership has been second to none. The challenge that lies ahead is, how will we meet the demands of a large congregation within a shrinking Jewish community? How will we accept change and at the same time maintain our close-knit feelings of being a large family that cares for one another? Today, Temple Israel stands at a crossroads. While our membership accounts for more than half the Jews living in the Memphis metropolitan area, our numbers continue to shrink. Assuming this trend continues for another decade, we likely will remain among the largest Reformed congregations in the country with well over 1,100 families. But to sustain the excellent programming we enjoy today, while attracting and retaining premier clergy, Temple will have to go through some transformational changes. Temple must be more than a place to attend High Holy Day services and life cycle events. We must continue the effort to become a congregation whose foundation is anchored by relationships between its members and its clergy. Under Paula Jacobson's superb leadership, we have begun the difficult task to improve the financial sustainability of Temple Israel. But it takes more than money to become more relevant in the lives of our congregants. Every program and service at Temple must offer a welcoming environment for newcomers and lifelong members. Even though through technology we are more connected than ever before, many of our congregants are still hungry for human relationships. Temple can and should be a place to build and maintain meaningful relationships. Now, I don't want to paint a negative picture of our congregation and its future. We have much to celebrate. Permit me to begin with the youngest members of our congregation who are fortunate enough to be enrolled in the Barbara K. Littman Early Learning Center. What a jewel we have in both our director, Susan Feld, and in the program itself. Nothing brightens my day more than attending an ELC Taught Shabbat program or seeing the kids brighten up the corridors of Temple during the week. Under Rabbi Adam Grossman's leadership, David Edelson, Jeff Dreyfus, and Sam Fargetstein, we've heard about this tonight, but indulge me, created the Temple Israel Fellowship Program. It is an out-of-the-box program to attract and retain young Jews to make a difference in the life of Temple Israel and the greater Memphis community. The fellowship program is cutting edge and has been recognized nationally as an example of creative and productive thinking. We'll soon be welcoming our second class of TI Fellows. This program is making a difference. Adult education programs have skyrocketed in the past few years, largely through the efforts of Alex Zaharovich and his outstanding committee. Temple's adult education program is experiencing a rebirth. We are filling up our classes and lectures and even adding chairs to our events. I can't continue without recognizing Rabbi Katie Bowman for her incredible gifts and contributions. There you are, Katie. To make Temple a more spiritual congregation. Katie's creativity and insight are helping to move our services to a higher level of depth and meaning. Thank you, Katie, for all that you do. We are blessed to have you. Rabbi Adam has generously given our congregation the first 6 years of his rabbinate. He has grown to be a much beloved rabbi whose love for all things Jewish, even the Buckeyes and Superman, will be cherished by this congregation. Rabbi Adam will be moving in a few weeks to lead Hillel at the University of Florida. We hope that Temple Israel will not only be in your rearview mirror, but will remain in your heart forever, as you will remain in ours. Rabbi Micah, what can I say? You've led and graced our pulpit for 23 years. Your dedication to Temple is remarkable, and your spiritual guidance is embedded in everything we do. Beyond Temple, your service to the greater community brings honor to us all. Many people throughout Memphis call you the community's rabbi, but you really belong to us. And for that, we are proud and grateful. Cantor John Kaplan will retire at the end of this month after 33 years of service. John brought so much joy and spirit to our congregation. I'm sure all of you join me in wishing John everything good in the years ahead. To the entire staff that supports all we do at Temple Israel, thank you for your dedication and hard work. From treasurers like Annie Booker, who has been with us for 44 years, to Carol Geller, who's been with us for 38 years, and to our extremely capable and hardworking executive director, Stacy Canales, thank you. Thank you for everything you do. And to the Board of Trustees who will accompany me as we work to build on that which was given to us. I look forward to your support and I look forward to your challenges. Don't hesitate to make your opinions known. You are on this board for that one agenda, to keep Temple Israel vibrant and strong. And to Temple Israel's entire congregational family, thank you for making Temple your spiritual home. Thank you for attending our services. Thank you for participating in our programs. Thank you for selling bulbs in the fall and planting them in the spring. Thank you for volunteering in the kitchen so that our congregational meals are both tasty as well as fun. Thank you for visiting the sick, feeding the hungry, and doing all of God's unfinished business. My list could go on, but for the sake of time, know that I appreciate each and every one of you. Now to the most personal recognitions this evening. First, to my parents of blessed memory, Shirley and Bernard Frisch, whose love for Judaism gave me the foundation that helped to bring me here today. My children, Dina and Caroline, how special you are to me and how proud I am that you call me Dad. And to my mother and father-in-law, Arlene and Victor Schlesinger, I will be forever indebted to you for giving me my best friend and love of my life, Lisa. I don't know how many of you know this, but I've been in love with Lisa since I was 16 and she was 15. I can't imagine a better partner, Lisa. You supported me in the good times and bad, and I'm putting you on notice. The best is yet to come. Unlike the small congregation we were in 1853, today Temple Israel is very large and diverse. We are 1,400 families. We are Jews by birth, and we are Jews by choice. We are white, and we are black. We are Indian and Asian. We are rich, and we are poor. We are young, and we are old. We are married, and we are single. We are straight, and we are gay. Not only must we celebrate our diversity, but together we must always search for a way to strengthen this remarkable congregation. As we leave here tonight, maybe some of you will stop by the museum display case in the lobby and take a look at that silver yod. Maybe you will do as I did and say to yourself, thank you, Theobald Foles, for giving the Reformed Jews of Memphis a very special gift, Temple Israel. Thank you to all the men and women whose devotion to Temple for the past 161 years sustained this great congregation. And to all of you who are here tonight, I offer my sincere gratitude and my heartfelt thanks. Shabbat Shalom.